Once you cross over the threshold and you get on that turf, it's a whole different mindset. You got to be nasty. You got to want it. You got to dominate. The most satisfying thing is when the ball is being ran your way, you make a great block, score a touchdown, and like I said, someone's always watching. You get the glory, for scoring a touchdown. The ball was ran behind you, or you had a great pass protection. You get the glory, and that's like one of the things that keep me going. Like, I know someone's always watching. Someone's gonna see what I did, and I'm gonna make them proud.
We're back with one more down. Today we have Booker Newberry V, class of 2026, Austintown Fitch offensive lineman. Booker is a up-and-coming force on the offensive line. He's been a 2-year starter out at Austintown Fitch. It's a pleasure to have you on today and get a chance to talk to you and see what your opinion is of football around the area and how things are going for you.
Things are going pretty good, football in the area is definitely, changing. Everyone's getting better. Everyone's working harder. Everyone's hungrier. So, just got to keep working.
Booker Newberry V, you've come in a long line of gentlemen with that same name. Your
Yes,
father
sir.
was a major figure in athletics during my time in high school. And then your grandfather being who he was, well-known singer and entertainer, it just makes sense that you're making a name for yourself and pushing that name further along the history books around that area. To get started, could you, give me a rundown of what your family makeup is and the dynamics of that?
So I live with my mom in one household, my little brother, and then another household, I live with my dad. I got a lot of support coming from both sides of the family. And, my dad's always been there for me. He's always, signed me up for events and got me to my camps and been at all my games. My mom's always been there to support me, my biggest fan. And my little brother, he's always been there too.
So, when you think back about your entryway into sports and competing, what's that standout memory for you when you first began playing athletics?
I started sports at a really young age, and it took me a while to find my way. I was trying so many different things, and then I had a freak accident wrestling, and I ended up breaking my leg, put me out for a couple of years, and I got back into football um, about fifth grade, and that's when I started to fall in love again, and it really just like brought something out of me.
Now at 6'3", 280 pounds, a lot of times people will look at that stature and think intimidation. Is that part of your personality, or how would you characterize yourself as off the field?
Off the field, I'm a chill person. I'm easy to get along with. I'm very nice, caring. I'm easy to carry a conversation with, so never be scared to come up and talk to me.
Now, I'm looking through clips of you on the football field at your offensive tackle position, and you got a nice little nasty streak in you. I seen you take a guy and drive him all the way to the sideline and finish him off. So what's that part of your personality that taps into the aggressive side?
Once you cross over the threshold and you get on that turf, it's a whole different mindset. You got to be nasty. You got to want it. You got to dominate.
Now, was that always there for you, or is that something that had to be brought out?
I think it had to be brought out, and definitely my dad was a big part of bringing that out of me. Because when I was younger, I was like not really big sports guy. Attempted the music and got back into sports, and over time it got brought out of me. And starting varsity as a sophomore, I was playing with the big guys, the older cats, so I had to be a dog.
Now, can you go a little deeper into that? What your mentality and your mindset is being an offensive lineman. Give a breakdown of what you're thinking out there as you're playing your position.
As an offensive lineman, you got to dominate every play. The offense revolves around you. If the O-line isn't working, the offense won't work. You got to score touchdowns, but the only way to score touchdowns, the O-line snap the ball, the O-line block. We just got to be the nastiest unit on the field at all times.
Playing that position, a lot of times you don't get your name called. There's not a whole lot of glory or headlines. Being an offensive lineman is really a workman's position. But I agree with you. Nothing can get done offensively without that line. Is that something that you've always embraced, being the size that you are, or did you have visions of playing other positions at any point?
I've always been an O-lineman, O-line, D-line, but I ended up sticking to O-line these past 2 years. Although you don't get the glory and the shine, someone's always watching.
So for you, what's the most satisfying thing being an offensive lineman, and how do you find ways to find that satisfaction playing the position when you don't receive the headlines all the time?
The most satisfying thing is when ball is being ran your way, you make a great block, score a touchdown, and like I said, someone's always watching. You get the glory, for scoring a touchdown. The ball was ran behind you, or you had a great pass protection. You get the glory, and that's like one of the things that keep me going. Like I know someone's always watching. Someone's gonna see what I did, and I'm gonna make them proud.
Now, for those people who may tune in to watch, what are the foundations and the principles of the Austintown Fitch program under your current coaching staff?
The coaching staff, they're, always pushing us as players to be our best. They're always on us, and they make us work. We want it, but the coaches stay on us, so they just help us lock in. We depend on them to make calls. They depend on us to make plays.
Now, I came out of the Youngstown City school system back in the 90s. I went to Cheney. Fitch was always the first game of the year and a big rival of ours. certainly a different landscape then versus now. Back then, they were playing in the old SVC conference with Boardman, Ursuline, and Mooney. That school always produced very tough kids, very sound fundamental kids. With you and your group of guys, you guys are playing different competition outside of the regional area. Can you kind of catch me up on what Fitch football is now in terms of the people that you guys play year in and year out?
We're just expanding, you know. Past years we played only teams around the area, but you know, over time we're expanding, getting further, playing new teams, you know, maybe some better guys, you know, outside of just our area, make ourselves better and get us prepared for playoffs.
Now, who have been some of the tough teams that you run up against in the past 2 seasons for you personally?
Me personally, some tougher teams we played were Erie McDowell, Ursuline's pretty tough team. Um, Warren Harding, pretty tough team. Maslin Jackson, Maslin Perry, they're pretty, you know, hard nosed kids. Painesville Riverside, Walsh Jesuit, and then you know we've scrimmaged Menor. They got some good kids. We play a pretty tough schedule, so you know a lot of teams we face, they're gonna put up a good fight.
Now, as you're making your way around the city and going from place to place, just doing your own thing, do people recognize you as Austintown Fitch football player?
Um, I know a lot of people, you know, from other schools. So like students, most people know me as an Austintown Fitch football player. Um, like in the community, you know my dad, you know me, you know where I'm from. I go to Austintown Fitch. So I'm still getting myself out there, you know, make myself known, but it's a work in progress. It's gonna get done.
Now, you guys are a spread team. Um, can you articulate and talk about what some of your responsibility is as a tackle? I see that sometimes you travel from side to side depending on the strength of formation. Can you take me through, some of the technical parts of what you have to do as an offensive tackle?
As an offensive tackle, you know, you gotta have correct steps. You got to be able to lead the line, especially as like one of the captains of the O line. You got to be vocal. You got to have strong hands, strong, violent hands. You got to make correct blocks, know your assignment. You got to know where the ball is at all times. You know, you got to protect the quarterback, protect the running back. And like I said earlier, you just got to make sure the offense runs smoothly.
Now, what would you say to those that think that the offensive line position is just a big brute person's position? I don't know if all people recognize how much thinking and um, how smart you have to be to take in all that information and be ready to react to shifts in defenses and changes in formations, changes in sets. What would you say to anybody who thinks that it's easy to play that position?
It's not easy at all. Like you said, you can be as strong as you want to be, but if you don't know your assignment, you don't know where you're going. You know, if one person messes up, it messes up the whole play. You always got to know what you're doing at all times.
So, could you, give me some insight into the coaching staff over there at Fitch?
You know, our head coach, TJ Parker, you know, he's by far one of the best coaches I've ever met, the best coach I've ever met. And, you know, he's always pushing us to work hard. He believes in us. And that's the biggest thing for me. It's like, I want a coach that believes in me. And he's that, you know, our offensive line coach, Dylan Hogue, he he pushes us, you know, he wants us to be the hardest working group on the field as much as we want it. And He's really technical. So we work on footsteps, hand placement. We do everything we can to make sure, when game time come, that's all second nature, and we just focus on dominating. And our receiving coach, our DBs coach, our D line coach, all like they push us. They want us to be our best. They want us to win games as much as we want to win games. You know, we're all one big family. Uh, we all love each other, so that's another big thing.
Now, are there any people that you kind of looked up to or, had influences on your game as you were developing as a football player?
A lot of people look up to like NFL players, but my freshman year, there was a senior. His name was Josh Fitzgerald. He was kind of like my mentor. He played left tackle. I took over his position when he graduated. But coming in my freshman year, dressing varsity, he really took me under his wing, helped me prepare for having to start the next year and getting ready to play with people older than me at a more physical level.
Yeah, I believe that his father and his uncle were players over at East, John Fitzgerald and Jermaine Fitzgerald, and they were two tough, formidable guys in their day. And I've seen that his brothers had a great career, YSU, James Madison.
Hmm.
So when you say a guy like his name, I know exactly what you're talking about. Um, for you, what's school life like? Have you had a good experience in your years out there at Austintown? And can you take me through some of the things that capture your attention as you're trying to progress towards graduation?
You know, um, all the teachers, they just want the best for you. The counselors want the best for you. Like the principals want the best for you. The whole staff, like they make sure you know what you got to know, and they're gonna prepare you for the real world. They're not just gonna tell you what they have to tell you. They're gonna tell you what you need to know, prepare you for the real world, make sure you pass. They just want the best for you. Never be afraid at Fitch. Talk to your teachers if you need help. One big family. That's all Fitch is one big family.
Now you had talked about the football camp circuit and getting your name out there and going to different places to see different competition. Can you tell me how that experience has been for you at some of the different places that you've attended camp at?
All the experiences have been great, being able to go against guys from different states, all over the world, even guys coming in from other countries. Just seeing all the different competition, expanding, making myself better, preparing myself for the season, getting in front of college coaches, showing them what I could do, you know, just making myself a better player.
And in those environments where it's high competition but fewer reps, what do you do to make sure that you take advantage of the reps that you do get when you're in those places?
You just got to mentally lock in, dominate, and focus on your assignment. Be technical. Footwork is technical. Hand placement is technical. Everything, because you got to make that 1, 2, 3 reps. You got to make it count. Because a lot of players are there, but you got to do something to make yourself stand out.
Now you've said that you've gone to the Youngstown State University camp, West Virginia, um, the different places that you've been, Michigan. Uh, what are the things that stand out to you from those different levels, whether it be FCS or uh, Division 1A, Power Five, or a lower level?
Main thing that stands out is the coaches. You know, in college, you're an adult. The coaches aren't going to hold your hand as much. There you gotta pay attention because if if you're not following along, you're gonna fall off the train and they're gonna leave you behind. So like at camps, if you're not paying attention on your rep, they skip you and go to the next person. And you lose that rep, and you never know what opportunity you just missed out on.
Now, you don't limit yourself just to football. You played a variety of sports as you've come up. You've wrestled. You've been involved as a thrower in track and field. You've played basketball. What are the things that you take from those different sports to make you a better athlete overall?
Basketball has definitely helped me with my footwork. Track and field helped me a lot with my hips. That goes a lot into throwing. You know, even though I'm a thrower, still do a little bit of footwork, speed work, make myself faster. And then just, like I said, basketball helps with footwork, coordination. And that's like a key thing being an offensive lineman.
Now, as you guys are going into your senior year and you're thinking about the things that you want to accomplish, what are the goals that you've set for yourself going into your last year as a football player?
Some goals I've set for myself is to be an all-state selection, make first team all district, make all quad county again, all team YSN, and put myself out there on the map, get college coaches looking at me, bringing some offers.
And for you, do you have a place in mind that you envision yourself playing at, or is it just open ended and the best fit for you?
Open ended, the best fit for me. I want to get out there, talk to some coaches, ask them questions about their athletic and academics. Just get to know more about schools and do some research at home. But as of right now, open ended.
And then, what are the things that you're wanting to have out of that college experience? What are your must-haves and non-negotiables in terms of the academic profile and the school experience?
School experience, I want to have, good teachers, people that'll push you and depend on you, and just be somewhere where I'm surrounded by other kids that want to do great and be successful in life.
Now, off the field and outside of the sports realm, you're a multifaceted guy. You've had experience on the music side, and that's something that runs deep in your family's tradition. Um, what does music mean to you, and what joy do you get out of performing?
Music means everything to me. Every part of my day, music is a part of. I listen to music in the morning. If I have free time in school, I'm listening to music. At night, I'm listening to music. We play music at football practice in the weight room. And if whenever I'm like in front of people and I'm performing, it just gives me like a great feeling, that I'm entertaining others and I'm also entertaining myself. Um, music's just a big part of my life, and it always has been. I've recently started DJing, so I'm trying to, get back into it.
And are you a licensed driver at this point in your life?
I am a licensed driver.
What type of vehicle you pushing these days?
Chevy Malibu.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
sir.
what type of vehicle do you hope to end up in?
My dream vehicle, I would probably have to say a BMW i8.
Oh, you got high taste. Huh?
I do.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes, sir.
Um, you know, can you talk about a little bit of the relationship with your father, who was an excellent basketball player, and as far as football went, he could have did anything that he wanted to on that front as well. What does having him in your life and being a guy that's been through that athletic process and having to choose, what does that look like for you, to have influence and exposure to a man of that caliber on a daily basis?
Yeah, my dad, he's been around since I've been born, and he started me off at a young age, football, basketball, T-ball, uh, anything I could get into, he got me into. He always made sure I was at practice, at extra lift, at extra training session. He's always been there for me, and he knows the ropes. He knows what he's doing. He's been around, multiple games, multiple sports, and he was very successful. And he pushes me to be the best I could be. Even, when I feel like giving up, he don't let me give up. He pushed me and helped me work, be the best I could be. He's a great supporter. He's at every game. He's always the first to call me before a game. Good luck, play your heart out. And actually, before every football game, I always look for him in the stands. That's been a tradition of mine since Little League. So if that show you something, you know.
Now you got another influential guy in your life, Nate Armstrong. What has he imparted to you over the years, and how has he helped you to develop into a better man and a better player and a better person?
Nate was he was my middle school track coach, my AAU track coach in middle school, and he was also my freshman football track coach. And, just like practices, track is rough. Whenever I have a rough practice, he always stayed and be like, come on, one more throw. Like, don't give up. Don't end on a bad throw. He always pushed me to be great. And he also played a big part in bringing out the dog in me as far as eighth grade track, freshman football. He always pushed me to be the best I could be. He pushed me more towards like varsity coaches. He got me up there and, he got me recognized. But he's always played a big part in my life, pushing me to be the best I can be.
Now, you have a younger brother. How does your younger brother respond to, the success that you're having as a student and an athlete? Does he seem that he wants to follow in that same lane and down the athletic path, or is he into other things?
Well, so my little brother is 4, but um, you know, after this past football season, he's fallen in love with football. All he wants to do is play football. Got into flag football, and he said he wants to be just like his brother. Um, he's always just support me at my games. After every game, he'll run up to me like, "Good job." He's always played a big part of my life. These past 4 years. And as long as I've known, he's been a really big supporter, and he loves me, and I love that he supports me, and I love that I'm helping him love the game of football.
And then, if you would like, could you, speak about uh, your mom's influence in your life and, how she helps you to achieve the things that you achieve and uh, create a space for you where you can get it all done?
Yeah, so my mom's another one, really big supporter. She's at every game. She always gives me a call, a text. Hey, I love you. Good luck. Play your heart out. She's another one, standing right at the gate with my little brother, waiting for me to come off the field. She's always been there. She's always, she's another one. Make sure I get to where I gotta be um, before I have my car. And, she just loves me, supports me, and I'm really glad to have her in my life.
The theme of our show is one more down. With you being a rising senior, of course, you have more downs to go. But if you're reflecting back, if there's any play or situation that you could do over again, what would that be for you if you had one more down to do?
If I had one more down, I would go back to our game against Erie McDowell. We were on 4th and 1 on the 1 yard line. We had to score and hopefully tie the game or win the game. And I took a wrong step. We ended up getting stopped on 4th and short, and we ended up losing the game. So if I could go back and change anything, that would be something I'd change.
Football is a tough game to play. There are no perfect games. There are no perfect outcomes and perfect endings. You can only do the best that you can. And I think that's what's attractive about the sport is there's always a challenge in it. There's always room to get better. There's always room to grow. Having you on has been an extreme pleasure today. And to listen to your recount of what you would pick as your one more down is an indicator that you want to be the best possible version of yourself that you can be. And I'm sure that if you continue to pour into the sport and position yourself as you have to this point, you're going to get a whole lot of reward and return out of the game of football and out of the game of life. We can only do this for so long. So you want to do it to an excellent level, and you want to be satisfied when that day does come that you can't do it anymore. So
Right.
I'm glad that you gave me a little bit of your time to, give me some insight into who you are as a person and as a player. And I look forward to, coming back to you sometime next year to see, where your trajectory and that next road is going to take you. So I'll be following along as a former Cheney Cowboy. I'll hate to do it, but because it's you, I will do it. So I'll be cheering for those Fitch Falcons to have a great season next year.
I appreciate it.